What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel and podcast. And if you have not subscribed yet, please do go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you are listening to this on the podcast platforms. And if you are listening/watching this on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and go ahead and hit that like button. It's like turning on a light switch for a dark room. And let's just go ahead and get into this podversation/reality chat. We previously had a conversation to discuss kimzolciakbiermann and the fact that it was reported that their mansion in Georgia was being foreclosed on. Well, the update is that allegedly their $2.6 million mansion sold at auction for $257K after going into foreclosure. And honestly, that really is sad because if you watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta when she was on the show, you saw her going through some things, and a lot of it I feel was just self-imposed, self-inflicted, because when she started on the show, she started being a kept woman by Big Papa, and Big Papa was buying her trucks and, probably paying all of her bills, how she just pretty much took care of her life, her lifestyle, her children, whatever she wanted to buy, wherever she wanted to dine. She was living that life. And when she met Croy, her current husband, she was living in a very nice townhome. It was very nice. I believe it had like 4 bedrooms, very spacious. It was just an attached home that I'm pretty sure she was not paying for out of her own pocket because she wasn't working. When she was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, this is how she made her money. She claimed she never was a stripper, but she said she did work in a strip club as a server and whatever. Anyway, she also said she was a nurse. And it was very shocking to many people at that time because she said she was 29 years old. And honestly, she looked a whole lot older than 29. I believe I was 29 at the time. And I was like, there's no way that this woman and I are the same age. Well, I guess we are. But she does not look her age. Anyway, she and Croy lost their home in foreclosure. And it's pretty sad because when she and Croy were married, they were renting a home. And she said they were going to buy the house. But she claimed the reason they didn't buy the house was because I believe she said the appraisal came back much less than what the sellers wanted to sell it for. But the woman who was allowing her to rent the house, she and her husband owned the house, she said that they were not paying their rent on time and they evicted them. I believe those people over Kim because Kim hasn't really been honest a lot of times. So I don't take a whole lot of what she says with, a lot of truth. But if you recall, when Candy bought her foreclosed property, it was actually 2 houses, which she still has. When she was showing Kim the place, Kim had her assistant at the time, Sweetie, with her. And she was just showing her around the property and things that they were going to do and renovate and whatever. Kim was hating the entire time. She was saying, yeah, Sweetie told me about this neighborhood and that it's a bad area. So we had to lock the doors when we were driving through here. And Candy said, what are you talking about? Like the mayor lives around the corner, but whatever. And Candy was so graciously showing her around the property. And she was just throwing shots and making sly, slick comments the entire time. And Candy never confronted her immediately with that stuff. But when she was doing the confessionals with the camera, she said, Kim is making a lot of comments and I'm honestly not feeling it. It's because Kim was jealous. All right, so a little bit further down the line, she winds up buying a foreclosed property with her husband and Croy. And the home they bought was new construction that got foreclosed on. And so whoever was building the house, they never completely finished it. So they got a deal. So the story is that they failed to pay back a $300,000 loan taken out on the property in December 2013. And it says that the loan was the couple's second mortgage on the property. They acquired a $1.65 million mortgage in November 2012. And that first mortgage seems to be up to date per county records. And so it's unclear why the couple is paying their first and larger mortgage, but not their second. So, per the county records, the couple modified their second loan at least once in 2018 to help lower the payments. Kim and Kroy's home is valued at $2,535,285, and it totals 6,907 square feet of living space. And according to some people, Kim went on Instagram Live on Tuesday denying claims that her house was auctioned off after falling into foreclosure. Kim reportedly denied being broke, saying that she was broke, she would sell all her cars, and that the news would have been on TMZ. But my question is, why didn't she just either if she couldn't just finagle her way to get back into Big Papa's life to get some money from him, get a loan from him? Because I'm just saying, Kim showed herself to be extremely irresponsible. She was buying like Versace china and had like tons of things in storage. She was buying lottery tickets, and I'm not saying anyone that buys lottery tickets is irresponsible, but to be someone like she was, and I'm quite sure she really didn't win anything buying all of those lottery tickets and scratch offs and things like that. Smoking like a train, drinking wine while she's in the car. She claims she doesn't drink and drive, but yet you're drinking wine in the car. I didn't know that it was legal to be a passenger even in a car and drinking alcohol. She just was very irresponsible, and I'm wondering, and so this is just my question, and you guys can let me know your thoughts. Do you believe that Big Papa was still giving her money and then it just got to the point where he stopped? Because listen, the news is that they got the mortgage for $1.65 million in November 2012. They got married in November 2011, and remember I said they were still in the rental property, and then they bought this foreclosed property. And then they got a second mortgage on the house for $300,000 in December 2013. So I'm just saying, again, this is my thoughts, my opinions, speculation. To me, it sounds like Big Papa was still giving her some money, and something happened and then he stopped. Because they did have the show Don't Be Tardy on the bravotv network for several seasons. I never watched it. I only watched her while she was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I did watch the wedding special, which was when it really solidified for me that I didn't like her, because I didn't like how she treated her family. And I also didn't like that I felt like she turned her husband against his family, because he seemed to be pretty tight with his family. And then I believe that his mom saw her for the trash that she made herself appear to be, and she wanted better and more for her son, because she's also older than Kroy. So can you imagine being the mother of a son and being in a situation like that? You don't want to see anything like that. But I feel that at some point, even though she was with Kroy, she was still getting money from Big Papa, and then I believe Big Papa stopped. And now when she got to the point where the show got canceled, she's no longer on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she claimed she had a skincare line, which always, it kind of pisses me off. But we live in America, those of us who do, and you have the right to really do whatever you want to do, even if you're not in that industry. But myself, being someone who is in the beauty industry and also does have a skincare line, and when I hear about people like this who are just like white labeling products because they have a name and followers, it just really pisses me off, because they don't really have to do the work. They just have to slap their name on these brands and sell products, because a lot of people are just like sheep and they just want to buy things if someone they like has a product. But anyway, it is what it is. She claimed that her stuff sold so much But then I question that, like, is that even really true? And it probably isn't, because again, it's Kim. But I just really would like to know what you guys think about this, because in my opinion, I feel, again, I'm just sharing my opinion. I'm not saying that this is exactly what happened, but based on the timeline, they got married in 2011, November. They were still in the rental house. Kandi, who was in her wedding, not long after that, purchased a property, was a foreclosed property. She was showing Kim around. She was jealous. She was making snide comments about Kandi's property. And then a year later or less, she purchases a foreclosed new construction property. And then she got a mortgage of $300,000, second mortgage on that same property a year later. I don't know. To me, it sounds like there was some money that she was used to having come in, and it wasn't coming in anymore, because no, Croy was not a big time NFL player. He was not a star. I believe more than anything, she made him known versus, the opposite way around. So I don't know how much money he was making. I'm just saying. She could claim that he was making 20 million, a contract or whatever, but I don't know about that, because even Kenya called that out when she visited Sheree's house the season that Sheree had her open house. I was about to say grand opening. Well, it's kind of a grand opening if you want to see it that way. And Kenya and Kim got into it, and Kenya said, worry about your man. Your husband needs a job right now. So you just never really know. So again, these are just my thoughts, my speculations. You guys let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. But yeah, Kim definitely was hating on Kandi. I feel that Big Papa stopped giving her money like he was still doing. I believe he was still doing it. And then we have just the ultimate downfall, to lose this mansion for $257,000. It's really, really sad. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, guys. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And until the next time, this is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest.